Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Hyrule Chronicles: Legend of Zelda D&D campaign. This is episode 88. I am the GM ArticulateT, and with me, as always, I have playing Renji Vox, the Netherlad.
I miss my friend.
Playing Kaikuana, Alvarez.
I'm sure he's fine.
Playing Zayden Shari, I have Robopirate.
Hello again.
And playing Max, I have Keistrith.
Hello.
So, what happened last time, friends?
Sadness. Fortunately, Hikan died. Oh no.
Well, I believe that is this one of those situations where we haven't decided.
I was going to say, have you not elected a designated recap?
I believe we discussed this, but I might not have been clear.
You said that you'd figure something out, and I said let me know, and then I didn't see the message.
Oh, yes.
Anywho's, as mentioned, because people miss their friend, we had a very long, very arduous talk about the what's the word I'm looking for? About the legal and bureaucratic aspects of Hyrule and specifically Castletown, trying to figure out how to help, I believe it's Maximus. I will remember it one of these days. It was eventually decided that for various reasons, both in and out of character, that Hikan would be the best one to go to Hyrule Castletown to watch over Maximus, at least in the interim, until things settle down for a bit. Hikan, asking for a favor from Darunia, got Kaikua Ana, or Kai for short, to accompany the party downwards. Kaikua is just being a very chill guy, definitely understands that he's the new person of the group and is not trying to push anything or anything like that, so they started working their way southwards, trying to find Princess Sophitia, where they eventually made it away from Torquin's Tower, or at least the remnants of the field that used to be there, and found a strange structure in the middle of that lone mountain there that Renji, scouting ahead invisibly, recognized as Blackmoore Castle, or the castle from way back when during their shared hallucination dream thing. And yeah, that's about it, at least for the moment.
Yeah, perfectly accurate recap of the previous session. Well done. So, we rejoin the scene as Renji looks upon the silhouette of the structure in the early night. As said before, it was hard to tell at first, but it clearly appears to be what remains of the castle that you had encountered during your vision quest into the past.
I was thinking it.
Yeah. Of course, it looks significantly worse for wear compared to when you saw it, especially with the implication being that it is a very old structure. Though in order to get a better look, you would probably have to get much closer. One thing that does catch your eye with your passive perception is that there appears to be a small light, not inside the castle, but just outside of it, just a ways from the entrance, almost like a campfire.
We should sneak over and see what that is.
You are currently invisible, but you are separated from the rest of the party.
That is true. Can I use the sending stone whilst invisible?
Yes.
Because that would technically require an action. But if I can
also
use...
using them as walkie-talkies, so...
Yeah, these are special sending zones.
Okay,
it's all good.
special. So I want to use the sending stones and check in with the other ones. And I say, like, I believe this is the place that we had that dream about, where we all got killed. But also I see some light just up ahead in front of the castle itself. I'm going to scout ahead a little bit more to see what that is up, what that is about. And then I'm going to try and sneak ahead again.
Okay.
Do you need me do you need me to make an additional stealth check?
Yes, please. Make a stealth check, and because you're invisible, do it with advantage.
All right. Let's see. At advantage. Stealth. Well,
I'll do. But yes, so silently, swiftly, and with great skill, you traverse the distance between to close the gap between you and the castle itself, ascending the slope as you do. As you're moving, can you also give me a perception check?
Perception check, naturally. That is 15.
Okay. As you get closer to the castle, you you kind of look about on the ground beneath you just to make sure you're not stepping on anything. It's not until you get to about 150 feet away from the structure, or at least away from the general area of the structure, that you see that there are quite clearly rusted armaments and bones that scatter the area. At first you think it's just the one corpse, but then you look around and see another one and another one and another one, and then as your eyes shift to your dark vision and you look around and see, you can quite clearly tell that there are a lot of dead here, which only makes sense considering how the vision had ended.
How old do these seem?
Give me either a history or a medicine.
History or medicine? I think I will go for history here. It's 12.
With it being so dark, you probably need a bit more time in order to analyze them properly, just to see, like, because I'm guessing with your choice of history, you're looking at what the insignias on the armor are, what the
If I can notice anything, yeah.
Yeah. Nothing sticks out at you for the moment, but you would probably need a bit more time if you had the luxury of it.
Right.
You can.
There's nothing that I immediately notice out of this.
The one thing
Just
that does
old.
The one thing that does catch your eye is more or less freestanding in the middle of this field of bodies is a great axe, though, and there's a moment where you pause as you see this axe, but it clearly holds no resemblance to what Tyrina was using when you were in the vision. It's much more of a war weapon, while Tyrina's axe at the time was more styled after an executioner's axe. So it might have just been a distinct coincidence.
And this is outside of the castle, you said?
This is outside of the castle, yeah.
Craig decided not to record and left.
Oh, well, thanks, Craig. Brilliant. I'll see if I can get you back in, buddy.
Here's hoping.
There was a pause, and it's like, I should take advantage of this pause real quick.
Thank you
Oh
very
yeah,
much.
absolutely.
Now recording.
There we go.
There we go.
All right, let's see how long that lasts. If it pops out again, I'll just use Bandicam's audio. It seems to be working fine. But yeah. Regardless, your main objective, this campfire that you can now quite clearly see, is situated about 30 feet away from the main entrance to the castle. It sits in front of a singular tent and some odd supplies that just sit outside this one tent. As you examine it, a singular person exits the tent wearing long dark robes. Their hood is up and covering their face. As they examine some of their supplies, they don't seem to have taken notice of you because of your very, very good stealth check. And as they turn around to look at a box, you can see on their back, on the back of their robes, appears to be the emblem of an eye in the palm of an outstretched hand.
And how far am I from this figure?
You are roughly 120 feet away.
Okay, I would like to whisper into this ending stone. There's a guy with the insignia of the sovereign hand. Do I jump him? I wait for a response.
Has the sending stone right now. Probably Sidon.
Either Zidane or you, yeah.
I'm gonna say not me.
For some reason.
I guess it would make most sense, Aiden, because then he can silently telepathy the question to everyone else.
Yeah.
Quick question. What's the down low on this sovereign hand then?
It's a cult centered around death and undeath.
Alright, did Renji tell the rest of the party that there's a bunch of bodies around? A bunch of bones?
Nope.
I mean... How far away is Renji from the rest of the party?
When Renji separated himself to do some scouting, did you keep moving or did you pause?
I think we probably stayed within a certain range.
Okay.
Yeah, good distance behind.
Yeah, I'd say you're probably at the very least 200, 250 feet away. Because it's the unfortunate thing about this being stealthy on this approach up the hill is that there aren't many trees on the hill upwards towards the castle.
Also,
So-
the person we're following is invisible.
That's true.
That is indeed true.
Can we see anything that looks, well, no, because is it getting dark or is it dark?
It's very much getting dark.
Can we see what looks to be remnants of, like, weapons or banners or anything like that that's like, this is a battlefield?
Give me perception checks.
Excellent. Six.
That's not very
23.
good. That is better, though.
Mhm.
15.
Okay. Zidane, you can see that there are shapes and things that would indicate that there are a lot of at least discarded weapons and armor at the in front of this castle, and it would honestly it would not take much of a guess that if the vision at least was retelling a true event, then there would be a lot of dead bodies in front of that castle.
I will point them out to the others.
I know that I'm the new guy and I haven't seen what all that you guys can do yet, but if these guys deal in necromancy, I don't think it's a good idea for our friend there to try to get the jump on the guy that's living over there, surrounded by all of those bodies.
Okay, we'll message back to Renji saying then just to wait for us.
As I hear that, I will maintain position, but I do have my hand on aspiration to ignite it at a moment's notice.
Okay. As for the rest of you, are you approaching stealthily or are you just approaching?
I think stealthily makes more sense.
I will give you a 60-foot lead.
17.
15.
Where's Mara's stealth is?
8.
20.
Ow.
Okay.
That's why I'm giving you a lead.
Alright, so as far as like rules for group checks go, I think that's enough for everybody. You kind of compensate for it as best you can, but eventually you all manage to kind of close enough at the distance. The robed figure disappears back into the tent after checking a few things, and you are now all about 120 feet away from this tent. How do you all proceed?
Hope Renji can see us, because...
Oh yeah, I mean he's got dark vision, so it's like he'll be able to see you perfectly fine.
In 60, within 60 feet, I can. Yes.
Yeah. So, but as you turn up, you can more or less see them, like with a good enough distance that you'll be able to determine that it is them.
I will wait for them, in case they are noticed by this figure. If anything happens, I will be able to move from a hidden position.
Okay. So yeah, you all go within distance. The figure has not noticed you yet. As I said, they've disappeared back into the tent, so they have more or less lost line of sight on each and every one of you. The question now is, do you proceed? Do you continue being stealthy to approach the tent in turn in order to try and like get the jump on him, or do you want to like start walking up as if to approach to speak to him? What do you plan on doing here now?
I'm kind of leaving that up to the rest of the party. So.
Hikan whispers in the back of your mind, kill him.
That's not Hikan.
Do it. It would be funny. Yeah.
Really?
Nah, it's out of character.
Okay. I mean, it wouldn't be too out of character, but more like, is the harvester talking to me right now?
Yeah, it's fine.
Now, again, new guy. If you guys can deal with him from here and he seems like bad news, we don't have to get closer and I can watch your 6 because I don't really have anything that I can do from a distance right now. But, you know...
As Renji, does he seem like bad news? Was he all geared up, ready to fight?
Make an insight check.
Me?
Anyone?
12.
12.
22.
24.
9.
I can see how this tonight's session is going to go. So,
To be fair, I went from a wisdom character to somebody with 1 wisdom, so...
That's fine. That's absolutely fine.
Plus 1? Or just 1?
Plus 1.
So, Kai, you are entirely unfamiliar with the whole set of circumstances surrounding this. It's difficult for you to get a read on this person. Renji, it's hard to say. Like, you would have an easier time if you could see their face. Like, there are a number of things that they could be doing at this point in time. You would have assumed that maybe they would have brought like more than one person, but it's dark and there's a bunch of people. There's not really. It's dark and there could be a bunch of people possibly inside the castle. It's difficult to say.
And I mean, there's still the possibility of the guy having backup in the shape of whoever is lying around.
Yeah. Max and Zayden, the first thing that kind of comes to your attention about this person is that they don't appear to have the same sort of countenance as other more aggressive members of the cult seem to have. What ticks you off first and foremost is that they are alone. Zayden, with your understanding of magic, and Max, with your experience with magic users, you don't think that any of the stuff that this person seems to have on hand could contribute to snap firing mass raise dead in this field. You don't think that they're an immediate threat, but again, it's a death cult that you have had previous unfortunate dealings with before. It's hard to say, but you don't believe that they are of as big a threat as they might be.
I think we should talk with them.
Maybe able to learn something. Like what they're currently up to.
Alright, sounds good to me.
Okay.
We will walk towards the tent unstealthily.
Okay.
I will try to move closer as they do to keep up with them.
Okay. You move up to the tent without intention of stealth. As you do, the figure emerges from the tent again, and this time catches sight of you. They take a step back briefly and just kind of examine each and every one of you, and is like, "Hello."
Hello.
Hello there.
Are the you're not. You kind of like they kind of examine each of you, like, and how well armed each of you are, and it's like,
I just have a stick.
Glass doesn't appear to be armed at all. We just have a fancy gauntlet on.
We have one very heavily armored person, and the others is nothing.
yeah.
One heavily armored person with 2 decent-sized hammers, a couple of hand axes, and a bow.
Yeah. We put all our weapons on one guy.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, it looks like just a couple of guys with their bodyguard.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of, you're not. They look at the castle, and it's like, you're not here to loot the place or get.
That'd be a problem.
Well, no. Well, yes and no, but mainly for your own safety. Can I ask who you all are, perhaps?
My name is Zayden. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Ah. Okay. He kind of, like, pauses a moment to think about it. And is like, you're not with, he turns around and, like, points a thumb at the symbol on his back. You're not with them, are you?
No.
Are you not?
No, at least not officially. He pulls back the hood, and you see a Hylian man with angular features and a mess of auburn hair. He says, "It's to keep up appearances. My name is Dr. Marshall. I'm from Mazro."
Why do you need to keep up appearances all the way out here?
If you take a seat, I'll be happy to explain. I do apologize, I am rather tired. I've been trekking here all day, and I've only just arrived. But and he kind of gestures to spots around the campfire of various different kinds.
I'll take a seat.
May I impose on my natural 20 from just now? And as he asks us to sit, I will drop invisibility from behind him.
Okay.
And
rude.
and I will drop invisibility, but I won't do anything just yet.
Okay. So you drop invisibility. He doesn't know you're there because he doesn't turn around. He just kind of like, as everyone kind of situates themselves down if they wish to, around either standing by the campfire or sitting down by the campfire.
Max is standing.
Yeah, Dr. Marshall will move over to the campfire and just kind of sit down, heave a sigh. Clearly, he's been on his feet all day, and he relaxes a bit. Right. So, how much do you know of the situation in Mazro?
Nothing really.
Where did who did I?
He was there the whole time.
I've been here the whole time.
That's
You-
not true. You guys
Okay,
do
I've been
know
here
stuff.
for a minute or so.
No, you guys do know the stuff that happened in Mazro. Hikan told you that there was a group of cultists that came to Castletown to try to spread the word of the Sovereign Hand that were from Mazro.
I mean, yes.
We could be pretending to not know anything, so you'll tell us more.
That is fair. I know it's been days ago and I've forgotten until
That's
just
fair.
now. So
That's
okay.
absolutely fair.
That's all right. He just kind of like he puts a hand on his chest and like, "Is he with you?"
yeah.
Nods.
Unfortunately, so.
I will
What's his
just stare
like-
daggers at Sidon.
Right. Okay. He kind of takes a moment to center himself and calm himself and says, "Right. Well, a few weeks ago, there was this person who came along with a group of other individuals wearing robes like this, called himself the Arbiter or something. He was a Lizalfos chap in plate mail. He had preached this ideology, this sovereign hand, as a method of helping individuals deal with despair and grief after death. And in truth, it had worked a lot, perhaps more than one might expect. Only a few days ago, in fact, the doctrine of the sovereign hand had been taken as the key religion of the village. Everyone seems rather taken with it. Of course, from what we understood, nothing untoward seems to have happened as of yet, though my ability to trust in these individuals who could sway the minds of the people so quickly is non-existent thus far, and I would not be surprised if there was some kind of clandestine aspect to it at all. But no one seems to listen to my concerns. I had figured in some cases that it would be easier to simply go along with it in order to get my work done. I'm the village's key physician, as it were, in Chirurgeon. It was difficult to actually get people to listen to you after a while when you're telling them that their fanciful ideas of a merciful entity that is able to allow these people to speak with the dead in order to get some kind of to be getting closure, as it were, is well, it's unnerving to say the least. But that isn't why I am here, so to speak. But I wear the robes just in case. I suppose I am being a little paranoid. I don't know exactly how far out they have eyes, this cultish organization, but I might as well be more safe than sorry.
I don't fault you for that. Makes sense to me.
Renji just nods along.
Aiden would telepathically to Renji be like, okay, but him wearing this almost got him ganked by us. It's
I,
not
I send
all pluses.
I send back either the influence of this cult has grown significantly and he believes himself to be safer wearing it than not, or he has made a bit of a wrong calculation here.
Oh.
I hope it's the second. Latter.
I guess I'll ask him, so what work are you doing here?
Well, it's actually something of a request for help from another settlement nearby, the one the one that sits on the shore of Lake Hyrule. There's this frightful illness going around, and it's something to do with this fungal mass that I believe has found roots within this castle. I decided to come here to try and get a sample for myself if I could. There are a couple within the village who have experienced similar symptoms in Mazro at the very least, and well, I would be not be doing my duty as a doctor if I was not to look into such things.
Wouldn't you normally send someone else out? Feels quite dangerous coming out into the wilds here.
In most instances, yes, but as mentioned before, Mazro is overtaken by this cult, and as I place no stock in whatever methods of healing that they have, which, given that the core mission statement they have is to seek no fear in death, they would be more likely, I fear, to simply let people die from this infection, but do so with a smile on their face. As for getting some help from the Hylian settlement, the Lake Hyrule settlement to the south, well, my time there had yielded an unfortunate discovery in that a lot of the individuals within that settlement are frightfully sick. And the mess that seems to have come from the passing of the king in Hyrule Castle town has ultimately stymied any form of help in that regard. And mercenaries seem to be few and far between, and frightfully expensive when they do turn up. I thought it'd be easier, cheaper, and faster if I was to make the journey out myself.
May I ask, Doctor, where do your loyalties lie?
My loyalties lie with the Kingdom of Hyrule. Wherever and
Inside
always.
check.
Okay, go for it. Inside him.
I will do my best. I only have a +2. That's a 16.
He seems genuine in response. Like he took a moment. You can tell the pause was more from surprise of like, I wasn't expecting the Hylian Inquisition at this point, but
We expect Hylian Inquisition.
But yeah, he seems genuine in his response when he says that his loyalties still lie with the Kingdom of Hyrule.
Okay, as I gauge him in this respect, I look him up and down. Any hints of insincerity? I don't spot them, and I just nod and say, "Then you are among friends."
That is good to hear.
You've also encountered this cult before.
Mhm.
Oh. You have my
I
condolences.
apologize for the subterfuge there.
Not as... I don't really know the word, but it's not... There's not as much of it, like, around, but also they killed someone important.
Oh. I'm really sorry to hear.
It might be prudent not to wear these robes when you reach other places. I understand that the cult has a foothold here in Mazro or nearby, and apparently it doesn't strike fear in the Lake Lalia settlement. But I would suggest if you were to travel on, for instance, to Death Mountain or go west to Hyrule Castle Town, to not wear that.
That is a wise decision, and I will definitely take that advice to heart. But my quarry lies here. Any gestures to the castle? But it is...
So what's going on out there?
Well, there is, from what I could see from the general entrance, is that there is a lot of this unusual fungal growth that sits within the castle. Unfortunately, it is getting rather late by the time I actually arrived, so I thought I'd set up camp and then wait until morning when I had more of a chance to take samples, pack up, and then make my way back home.
Are you familiar with the history of this place?
He shakes his head.
It's said that there was a battle here.
Looks around at where all the corpses were. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
sad.
Specifically,
Just a small battle.
Specifically between the forces of what now is called Hyrule and the Sovereign Hand.
He kind of like, his eyes kind of widen a bit as you say that. It's like, is that so? And realize that this organization had gone that far back.
It seems to have ties to the forces of evil and the rule of great, powerful creatures warring against Goddess Hylia.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. My captions are doing weird things.
Captions tend to do so.
Yeah, Goddess Hylia became God Italia.
Didn't know Italy was a god.
I didn't know either.
Oh no. But yeah.
You mentioned danger earlier. Is it dangerous up at the castle? Or is it just that fungus?
It's the fungus, although it's an old structure that has long been abandoned, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there had been there isn't anything inside that might do one harm. I had, upon my arrival, found a campfire that had been used once, and in fact I decided to make use of the old fire pit and reignite it. He gestures to the currently lit campfire. But there was not... but I haven't ventured inside thus far. I do not know if there has been any kind of animal that has taken up residence there, or bandits are using it for a hiding spot. I would rather they didn't. From what I can see of the amount of fungal growth that exists within the mere entrance of this castle, it doesn't look like a comfortable or hygienic place to stay.
Understandable. If you don't mind my asking, are you good about like checking the age of things when you come across them or something like that? Like being able to tell at a glance, like that fire about last time it was used thereabouts? Sorry to backtrack a little bit there, but
He has a think about it, because he didn't really examine it too much when he arrived, but he has a think about it. He says, at a rough guess, I would say that it would have been, at the very least, a few weeks old, close to a month almost.
is it dusty and does it look like this place would leave tracks?
I think someone wants to look for tracks.
I was
It's
going to tell the people
worth-
with much higher perception or survival to look for tracks.
It looks like
But yes.
it looks like the grass here and soil is thin enough that you could possibly get some dusty tracks going. But it would require a survival check.
Oh, at his suggestion, I'll go look for tracks.
Okay.
There we go. There we go.
That's it.
I
No.
got a 26.
Nice.
Can that maybe tell us like the size of footprints? Maybe
With the
if we
26,
find them.
you get several bits of information. First off, you get several animal tracks that seem to lead into the castle and do not come out. You get a few humanoid foot tracks, one of which appears to be of a smaller person, and they lead to about here and then turn away again.
Like up to the entrance and then nope and then leave.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll point
When
those
they
out.
leave, what direction do they go?
They continue heading southwards.
Interesting. Okay.
Point those out and like not much else.
All right. Well, at least we have a heading for the morning if we wanted to stop now, or we could stay. There's a fire. There's,
Seems a
maybe
decent
help
enough
this
place to
gentleman in
take
the
a
morning.
rest.
Don't particularly need a rest immediately, but
I understand that we could all probably go for another few hours and all that, but it is starting to get dark.
Yeah. So, is
I
the
guess
plan...
it depends on whether or not the doctor is happy to share this campfire.
Well, you have given me much more information than I would have expected out of something that I was already feeling rather dour about, so by all means, I consider you friends. You are able to remain here for the time being. It would honestly be a bit safer for me if I let you as well.
I'm
Assuming
okay with that.
okay with that. Excellent.
Okay.
Or actually, Kai looks over at Max. Was like,
After several moments, Max looks and goes, "What?"
I wasn't sure what the hierarchy was. If it was a unanimous decision voting thing, just
I don't
getting
make
used to
decisions.
things, feeling things out. Okay.
Okay. So, decides to rest for the moment.
Max is gonna put himself on a watch though.
Okay.
I'm gonna offer the doctor a good berry.
Happily take the good berry and seems much more thankful for it. Appears quite clearly he hasn't eaten in some time.
Ask if he needs any water as well.
I should be all right. I remembered enough to pack water. I just haven't eaten since breakfast.
Did you
Thank
pack
you.
food?
Hmm?
Did you pack food?
I packed enough.
Alright.
I didn't know how long I was going to be here for, so I thought I'd ration myself early. So, watches. We have Max on a watch. Who goes first? Who goes second?
I'll go first.
I still join Renji.
Okay.
It's Mara and Zayden.
Yeah.
I'm happy for the company.
Okay. Sweet. So, first watch, Max and Renji. You, as everyone else settles in, getting in their appropriate amount of rest, I'd like for you two to make for me perception checks, please, as you
Right.
remain vigilant.
22.
Only 15 on my side.
For the most part, the watch seems relatively peaceful. You don't see or hear anything coming up the hill. You don't even hear the sound of birds or bats flying overhead. I suppose keys would probably be more accurate. What you do hear, Max, in particular, is coming from the castle. Appears to be, or from the sounds of it, appears to be a low chittering sound. Just kind of the occasional series of clicks that echo off of the walls, and then they stop.
I'm not alive up there.
I'm trying to see. Can Renji hear it as well?
When Max points it out, yes.
I turn to the castles. Like, I notice anything beyond it, or if
There's you don't see anything change from it. Seems still as still and calm as it was when you approached. It's just this singular sound that appears to be coming from the inside.
what does it sound like exactly?
It's just chittering, like a
Chittering.
series of clicks, like as if someone's basically doing that.
So, like, inorganic material against inorganic material, or is it more like claws?
It's
on
hard to tell
something?
from this distance.
Is it the sound that bugs make on TV shows
Kinda.
Hmm.
specifically?
Darn it! I don't
That-
like TV shows.
That particular sound that TV and movies use to say there is bugs in this room.
Yeah.
I was thinking the
Yeah.
chorus from Skyrim.
Yeah, it's kind of that sort of like it's almost it's kind of got that same sort of distance as you would if you were kind of standing outside in the dark during the summer and you can hear like the crickets. But it's as if it's just the one cricket and it's in an echo chamber. That's the kind of, and it's very low. It's almost inaudible, but when you kind of be quiet and focus on it, you can hear it. And it doesn't like have a consistent sort of tone. It kind of starts and stops, and then starts again and stops.
Glance over at Max for the moment, and then to the others. Do you think we should check it out?
Not in the middle of the night.
I suppose. This is going to keep me up all night.
But otherwise, your watch is quiet and uneventful. Did the two of you want to talk about anything while you are on watch, or would you like to just kind of remain as is until your turn is over?
I think Renji is obviously more grumpy and short than usual.
You think Max is gonna notice that?
I don't know. You've traveled with Renji for a
Let's
while
find
now.
out. Okay, that's actually not bad.
You have a higher insight check than I do.
Yes. After a big long silence, he just looks over and says, "I miss him too."
There's actually a wry smile on my face as you say that. Yeah, me too. It was the wise choice. Doesn't mean I like it. As far as these things go, I feel like he's my first friend. No offense to Zayden, but I never really got that close with him. More of a mentor, maybe a pastor kind of figure. I think I'm going to miss sparring the most. And I'm not going to ask the new Goran friend here if he wants to, you know, play pretend and beat each other up in the morning.
I don't know if I'd be good for that either.
Yeah, the meditation and quiet things seem to work for you.
It's not that, I'm just not as good at the hand-to-hand stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, if you wanted to, I can try and teach you what Hikan's been teaching me. But only if you want to.
He just looks up at the castle and says, "Maybe."
And maybe we can do that another time.
Yeah, it's probably isn't the best place for it.
Okay. But yeah, you're
Imagining the two of them trying to spar and just tripping over all the discarded
Oh
weapons
no!
and everything.
Oh no.
It's like you hear a crack. It's like, did you hurt your ankle? No, but I think I hurt someone else's ankle.
Oh no.
Could be fair, when it comes to Gorons, it wouldn't really be that. You just need to ask for a hug and try to evade that hug.
Excellent.
Oh dear. Okay. So your watch continues again, uneventful, and eventually it gets to a point where you need to wake your other companions to have their turn.
Inform them about the noise I heard.
Still there?
Is it still there?
As you kind of like, once it's pointed out and you listen in, yeah, it still remains occasionally.
Am I able to identify it?
Give me a nature check.
21.
It could be any number of things. There are a lot of different insect type things that would have a home or find a home in old fortifications and other structures, because they create shadow, they create damp. It's just it more or less morphs itself into a different ecosystem entirely. But strangely enough, there aren't really many insects that you can think of that that would find themselves like in this kind of area, being able to generate that kind of noise, especially if it sounds like it's entirely by itself. That means it has to be at the very least rather large. You're thinking maybe some kind of giant beetle, but why? Why would it be here? It's a curiosity that you may have to investigate further, but we'll let you keep that 21 for now, because it will serve to elaborate on things depending on how you want to investigate.
It's a surprise tool that will help us later.
But yeah. Mara just kind of gives a nod as you inform them of the noise. He says, well, we'll make sure to wake everybody in case anything comes out.
Max gives Renji a look that's like, see, it'll be fine, and then goes to bed.
Renji gives Max a look of doubt.
So yeah, as Zayden and Mara begin their watch, I'd like a perception check.
I need guidance on myself as well.
Okay.
For a grand total
of 30.
Wow.
Jeez. Friggin'
druids, man.
yeah. Plus 10 perception. But yeah. So you both sit down and keep an eye out. Mara, for her part, seems to just kind of keep scanning around the area. Occasionally with the Zayden, with your passive insight of 20, you can notice that Mara occasionally kind of glances at Dr. Marshall, specifically the emblem on his back, because he's sleeping on his side, but then looks back to the castle and looks around. With your 30 perception, you'll become much more aware of that noise that seems to be emanating from the castle. But besides that, as you kind of focus your senses and look around, there doesn't appear to be anything else. In fact, probably the weird thing to you is that the lack of ambient life in the area, like no geese, no mice or rats or anything, not even any birds nearby, that absence is unnerving. The only life that seems to be within this area, besides the 5 or the 6 of you, is whatever's making that noise in the castle.
it is alive.
So, when Sidon woke up and heard that noise, he had a great idea. And it's probably been enough minutes to enact that idea. I am going to ritual cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
So I can comprehend what that noise it's making is.
The interesting thing is, as you ritual cast that spell, and you wait and wait for it to actually begin making noise, to see whether or not you can discern it, nothing seems comprehensible. It just continues to be that noise, which can only tell you that maybe whatever is inside, while having the properties of an insect, isn't necessarily an animal.
Okay, I have a different spell ready for when everyone else wakes up. Magic.
Yeah. But yeah, besides that, is there anything you wanted to do specifically on the watch?
Not until the doctor wakes up.
Okay. The two of you remain in silence for a bit. And much like before, nothing else eventful happens on your watch. The sun rises in the morning. Everyone experiences the benefits of a long rest. And everyone begins to wake up. It's now much clearer that you can see around you the skeletal corpses of warriors long dead that litter this hill. The ravages of time upon the castle become much more clear to you as well. But yeah. So, you're all awake and able-bodied. What do you do?
Sidon will then pipe up to his fellows. Whatever's making that noise probably isn't a beast.
Alright. Do we want to try and investigate that, or do we want to further our travels?
I think if we leave now, it'll kill the doctor.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm feeling too.
Is the doctor awake to hear me just say that?
Yes.
Okay.
He's kind of like sitting there, like there's this kind of look of alarm on his face, like
His weird noises come from the castle.
aha. Weird noises, you say?
Sounds like a bug or something, but not apparently.
Like a tektite, or yeah, well, not important right now.
Well,
Alright.
I'll...
Then we're going to go investigate, right?
Not yet. I have prepared a spell for potential help with this. If you just give me 10 minutes to cast it.
Sure.
And you'll go
Some
for
breakfast. You get ready.
We'll sit down cross-legged, enter a meditative state, close his eyes, and commune with nature.
Ooh, okay. Let's have a look. You become one with nature and gain knowledge of the surrounding territory. The outdoors gives you spell knowledge of the land within 3 miles of you, in caves and other natural. Instantly gain knowledge of up to 3 facts of your choice. What do you want to know?
I want to know prevalent plants, minerals, animals, people, powerful, those things, and let's say influence from other planes of existence.
Okay.
Just in case.
Just in case.
And buildings. Well, there's that one.
Yeah, not
Alright.
too fussed about buildings, somehow.
The nearby tree just points a twig towards the building. Found a building.
Ah, thank you, thank you.
Alright, so how far
Although
away
that would have
is
been
this?
useful for finding the tower if I didn't know where it was.
So it would be on this in this area here, this tiny little spot.
The size of that circle, really.
The size of the marker for the castle.
Yes.
Okay, so first off, prevalent plants, minerals, animals, or peoples. So within the 3-mile radius, you know that there are no peoples besides you, and maybe like an occasional scout. Like there's a scout or two to the west, just on the border of that 3-mile radius. It seems that they might be hunters of some kind. There's about a quarter of a mile away from this area is when endemic life starts. Like, there are plenty of plants, there's trees, there are definitely trees that you can see within the area, but, like, small animals, other bits and wildlife and stuff just in the area, at least alive, for the sake of it, don't get any closer to this castle than a quarter of a mile. As far as dead things go, interestingly enough, there's plenty of dead endemic life. There's corpses of rats and mice and squirrels and birds and bats, just kind of dotted in the underbrush within the surrounding trees and like tall grass and stuff. The thing that
Do they form a circle?
They don't form a circle, no. They're just kind of in and around, and of course you can if the commune nature spell doesn't necessarily, like, if it picks up death, like dead life or like past life, then it would have picked up the numerous bodies that currently
If you just listen to one time,
you.
it just goes skeleton, skeleton, skeleton,
Skeleton.
skeleton, 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 skeleton.
Yeah. What does intrigue you is that there appear to be 4 wolf corpses inside the building, at least as far as the spell tells you.
Yeah.
Next, for powerful celestials, fae, fiends, elementals, and undead, or undead, none of the above appear to be within range.
Either not powerful or it's like an aberration, perhaps.
And then finally, influence from other planes of existence. You get a lingering sense. There's kind of this ambient aspect of influence from some other plane of existence that you don't exactly know too much about. Like, it's definitely not of the material plane, but you don't recognize it as like an elemental plane or anything like that. There's just something here that seems to reek of it doesn't belong.
I was also just thinking, do I feel a little bit of that from Renji too?
You might, just a little tingling of it, but then again, it's like, it's not in the case of like.
And is it a different doesn't belong?
It's a different doesn't belong.
Okay.
Darn it, I am planar radioactive.
Exactly. So, I guess I will pipe up to my friends and say, as we've kind of gathered, no animals particularly come anywhere within about a quarter mile of here. And there's some touch of some other big plane on this land. Also, whatever creature in there is at least not an undead or a fae, fiend, celestial, or elemental. But it's probably not a beast either. Given the noise it was making, leads me to believe it might be some form of aberration.
That's not good.
Like, could that be making people sick?
I would imagine so. Let me just see. Shall I roll a medicine?
Sure.
Could be the touch from the other plane that's making that weird
80.
fungus that's making people sick.
If it's a fungal thing, there are definitely like the nature of aberrations is that they're just alien. There's something that is hard to describe within any other context. And it's entirely possible that there are aberrations out there that could create this fungal disease that would cause these many problems. So it lies as a distinct possibility.
Okay, so are we going to go investigate the tower?
I glance over at Zayden. I believe we have discussed this and it had been agreed.
Okay. Then I will look to the doctor, and just before we can go up, I'll say to him, if you consent, I have magic to detect disease. I could give you a check before we leave.
That might be a wise decision.
Okay. I shall also start ritual casting detect poison and disease.
Okay. The doctor appears to be fine.
Give him a clean bill of health.
Yeah, he is a clean bit of health. He does say that he would like to at least accompany you, just to get inside enough to get a sample of the fungus in order to see if there is a way to cure things, given that he hasn't really encountered what this disease is before, and he wants to, at the very least, try and figure out any kind of vaccine. Yeah.
One thing I'd actually ask him is, this isn't like downriver to his village, so why does he think this is the spot that's causing it?
I've just been following clues, in all honesty. It's not necessarily that this place is causing it, it's just that this is the greatest concentration of it appearing in the wild.
Perhaps a creature took some from here, Elsa.
Possibly.
Well, if you're going to accompany us, I ask that you kindly stay near me, please, and thank you.
Very well. Give me 2 seconds if you think that there's going to be danger. He disappears into the tent and comes back out with a light crossbow and a few bolts.
I ignite aspiration as it just burns this yellow white light. I believe that is actual sunlight, right? Or
A sunlight is indeed.
Yeah.
Sunlight.
Mhm.
Which means it's funny to use it against vampires.
oh, I love using it against vampires. I have a thing with vampires.
Okay. So as you all prepare yourselves and properly equip yourselves, I'll move you over to the map.
Yay!
Ooh. Let's see if it loads. There we go.
I'm gonna make sure that people's health is appropriately seeable.
My health is I haven't leveled up in Roll20 yet.
I was gonna say I see everyone but Zayden's bar, but now I see Zayden's bar. So
Yeah.
Let me just. Roll20 has been very slow for me. I'm not sure if anyone else noticed.
It's been fine for me, but I've been running it, so it's it's yeah.
Let me just edit to 88 out of 88. There we go.
Nice. Okay. So, you approach the entrance to the castle. It is eerily quiet as you look around in and see and some of you, or most of you, see the familiarities that that had been there the last time you visited here.
I guess Kai will lead.
I will follow along with Kai.
Alright, sounds good to me. Yeah.
We'll follow you too.
Yeah.
Ready to blow things up.
I will just walk my full movement forward, one step at a time, nice and calmly.
Mhm.
Ooh, big courtyard. As long as nothing's going on, I'm just gonna keep on slowly moving.
Okay.
Are we able to see this at whatever height it is?
Yeah, you are. It's quite an alarming pile of mold and mushrooms and other aspects of it.
Are we
And
still
it's
within 10 minutes? How poisonous is it?
a very not to touch, but definitely to consume.
Okay.
With your 21 nature check from before, you also note that there's one thing in particular that kind of disconcerts you about the situation. It's not damp enough for there to be this much mold and fungus. It's rather dry.
I shall point this out. It's far too dry for so much mold. It shouldn't survive.
This particular mold here,
Mm-hmm.
is it close enough to maybe like poke it with, a sword made out of sunlight?
Yeah.
I
You just kind of
believe
like
so.
reach up and
But before you burn it, if it all sets up, you might want to let the doctor have his sample first.
Right. I will hold off on that.
Move so you can get
yeah.
closer.
He kind of moves over, takes like something from a kit, like a knife and what looks to be like a airtight container. He leans up, kind of slowly and carefully scrapes off a sample, puts it in the container, closes it, scrapes the knife clean on the stonework, but then kind of goes through a careful process of putting the container away, taking out a cloth, wiping the blade a bit more, putting it back into its sheath, making sure not to touch the blade, and then throwing the cloth away.
That's prestidigitation on the knife to extra clean it.
Yeah.
I was thinking that, but also maybe sterilizing it just with the sun blade.
Yeah.
I might melt
Oh,
it.
that does radiant damage and not fire damage, so I don't know if it'll actually work that way.
It might do it better actually. If it's
But
radiant.
I will actually try and see what the sunblade does to this fungus.
I was gonna give it like both the doctor and Mara give like a kind of a wide berth as you do this, because they don't know what's going to happen, but they might as well be safe.
Neither do I.
You reach up and you run the blade along
For science. For science.
For science. You reach up and run the blade along the along this mound of stuff, and it sizzles and burns, and kind of creates this very thick, dark smoke from where the blade has made contact with it. The ambient smell is not great, and you kind of like take a couple steps back as you begin to cough and hack a bit, but
Renji does not like this.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Alright.
But it seems to burn. It's weird. It doesn't seem the right climate for this.
Alright, so glance around the area and then point at the green lamp and also this white one and say, why they look different?
That's a good question. A moment, if I can. He very cautiously approaches the lump.
I
Stay
will.
within 15 feet of him at all times.
I will stay close as well.
Just in case the lump is full of bugs.
Takes out another container, takes out the knife, takes another sample, puts it in the container, once again going through the very slow process of making sure that he's got a clean sample, puts it away, and it's like,
Are
is-
both of these lumps also poison?
yes,
Okay.
I'm going to save you some time. Assume any and all fungoid lumps to be fairy poisonous.
Ah, good, good. That does save time.
Yeah.
And of course, I switch out the monk. Alright.
The monk could unpoison things.
Oh, could
I
you?
can unpoison things at touch range.
Alright.
We did not just lose a friend. We lost a decontamination unit.
Lost a walking hazmat suit.
Yeah.
Alright. So, a couple of pads. I think it's going up those stairs gets us closer to that entrance.
Can we
Right.
hear the noise anymore?
It's certainly present. In fact, it's grown in intensity, but only slightly.
Can we tell the direction?
Yeah.
North and down.
Ooh,
There was an underground place, wasn't there?
there was.
There was underground areas within the castle. Yeah, you can remember from your time here that this is definitely meant to be a stables. So there is no, and you know that there is no other exit and entrance out there, so no need to worry about that. From the looks of the rubble on these stairs, it looks like that most of the area on the upper levels, at least the upper walls, is largely inaccessible without extraneous climbing. But this area over here seems to be fairly accessible. It's probably going to be the easiest way to get through.
It
I
takes
just
me
clicked
to like the main part of the castle.
Yeah.
I'll just glance in the stables, then we head into the main castle.
All right.
Sure.
Hmm.
I stay close to the dog.
Nothing. Still nothing. And nothing. Doesn't seem to be anything in here.
Okay.
I start burning this lump.
Okay.
You're getting a lot of viscous smoke that kind of burns. While I understand your
Do we maybe
gumption
do-
there, I don't know if it's the best idea.
I have
maybe
something
do it on the way out.
Yes, I do have something flammable in back at camp, and Marpov says, I have some chemicals that'll burn. We'll leave that for later.
I'm just not very well at ease.
This place does give one the creeps.
Yeah. There is that, yeah.
Word of the wise, there's another one of those silvery, powdery fungus things up this staircase here. I'll point to that one for people.
Should go up the left staircase then.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's another set of stairs on the other side of them, so might have to be careful going through, but...
It would be you could probably do a take 10 to clamber up this rampart, but it's yeah, the easiest way would be to get to the stairs, which would require you maneuvering around this pile.
How tall's the rampart?
It's about 10 feet.
Huh, neat. Or, contrary-wise, and I go over here and grab my shield and kneel, and people can just climb up.
Okay.
I
take
switched
the-
my wisdom and dex for strength.
I'll take the lift up. And I will also offer a hand to anyone who needs it.
So man with the terrible athletics will take that hand.
This other
Is your
man
athletics
with
below 0?
I have a +1, but I've failed every single athletics roll.
Yeah.
That is fair.
This man
You are
with
better than
equally,
Renji is.
equally terrible athletics will also
And
clamber
yet-
up, and so will Mara. Probably move the camera up. There we go.
Do we notice that there are stairs here?
You do.
But they are broken down.
No, they're fine. It's just that they're on the other side of this lump, so the option was given to clamber up the rampart
Yes.
instead.
Avoid
I
the lump.
will. How far can Renji look into this direction?
Pretty much as far as you can see it. Now that it's daylight, you're able to get some ambient light in that you don't need to rely on dark vision for. You can definitely see the bodies of those two wolves just kind of slumped on the ground. They don't appear to be moving.
Okay. I will thank Kai and get the boost up as well.
Okay.
take
How's
the
Kai
10.
getting up?
I'll take the 10 for a 19 to get up.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
bunch of clanging, clattering metal. Alright, now that I can see it from here, yeah, through that doorway there was another yellow one, but I think we've got yellow and silver, so I think we're good.
I think I know what Kai's favorite music genre is.
Bluegrass, actually.
See, I was just my joke answer was going to be ska. But
I thought heavy metal.
oh dear. But yeah, you can by peering around the corner in that room, you can see that there are 4 wolf corpses, which is probably what you had been alerted to with your commune nature thing. Otherwise, it is a from the looks of it, they don't appear to have been mutilated in any fashion. They aren't breathing. They definitely aren't breathing, but they're not. They haven't been like torn asunder.
Are they covered in fungus, out of curiosity?
There is a light dusting, yes.
Do they, for instance, have fungal growths coming out of their ears and or brain?
You won't be able to make that distinction until you get closer.
Darn it, cordyceps.
This counts as a plant type thing, yes?
You believe so?
Excellent. Who's going to go in first then?
I can go in here if you just let me squeeze past you here. Okay. Alrighty. On the far end of the room, just across from me, there is one of those other yellow piles. So do be careful on your way through this area, and move out of the way. Sit here.
Okay.
I look over at the dock and at Mara. Mara? Do you want to go in first, or should I go first?
I will go in. If you're far more combat able than I am, it would be best if you were to cover the entrance. I think perhaps.
Right, cover it. I will.
He slides on in. As let's see, and then Mara will follow inside.
Right.
As you begin to pile in, actually, I want everybody to make me a perception check.
Right. Perception.
23.
28.
6.
Okay.
Perception buddies!
All right. So everyone except for Kai, and the good doctor, I think, maybe. No, he got a natural 19. So everyone except for Kai.
Fine, you're not built for seeing, you're built for breaking shit.
I'm literally here to be big and in the way. I'm not here to see.
As you make your way in, you begin to hear the chittering from below you grow in intensity again. This one twitches.
Knew it.
Alrighty, I put the shield away and I grab my maul.
Okay.
These are the stairs down, right?
Yes.
Since Mara's right behind me, I'm gonna stay here.
Okay.
Should I worry about these guys, or should I try to go downstairs?
Keep an eye on them.
Okay.
That's what I will do.
Well, now that we're this close, can we make more inferences of...
Yes. Make nature checks. Zayden, you get to do this with advantage.
17.
Do I know anything about nature? No.
17.
Okay. Let's see. 11.
11.
Okay. 11. For 22? No, 11.
I apparently just didn't want to go through, so I pressed it twice more.
Okay.
Which in hindsight, that was a mistake.
That's fine. That's okay. So, Dr. Marshall seems to be fairly clueless on this, as does Max and Renji and Mara. Zayden, you are aware of this because of how long-lived you are and where you have wandered most of your life. Kai, you are kind of aware of this because it suddenly occurs to you that you might have treated someone for this problem before. And it only becomes much more apparent as the wolf that twitches at the top, the brow of the creature splits open and reveals what appears to be a singular bulbous eye with a green iris and a red pupil that seems to be split into 3 sections, and you realize that this infection is attributed to a parasite known as the Goma.
Oh no.
Yeah. Damn, Gola. Alright. And then I'm going to presume it's initiative time.
Yes. Though I will allow this to be something of a surprise round as these wolves have yet to wake up.
Initiative button.
It's fine.
Unfortunately, I don't think Goma are plant-type creatures.
No, they are very much aberrations.
Oh well, at least I was right on that.
Oh yeah.
But what a way to be right.
Oh, poor doctor.
Poor
No.
Dr. Marshall.
Well, at least he's got a bunch of us around him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, not... Well, yeah, I won't be because Misty Step, probably.
Actually, you know what?
Alright.
Get rid of that one. There we go. Okay. All right. So, I think it's this one that's probably more appropriate. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, oh wow, that is a gap. So, first up we have Zayden. What would you like to do? You have 4 wolves in this room. All of them are prone. One of them has their eye open. It'll take them a bit before their bodies reconfigure to be able to be used by the Goma parasite. So you have a free round on this one.
I was just trying to work out. I don't seem to be getting any audio.
Oh,
Oh, maybe it's just me.
Misses with that.
yeah, Roll20
Yeah,
has
it might be a
glitch
Roll20
occasionally.
thing.
Ah, well. I'll imagine the music. Sounds very dramatic. I'm impressed.
It is.
Thank you,
You're
Steve
right on that.
Shapiro. Okay, what would you like to do on your turn?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of them, and I don't get many opportunities to use AoE. And stuff that's prone has disadvantage on these types of rolls.
They do.
So, Sidon will grab his staff, crack it into the earth, as rivulets of ice will churn over to here, and burst up, filling basically most of the room.
Jesus. Okay. So it's going to be these 3 wolves over here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Size.
All right. So dex save.
Not much
so
damage, huh?
Fail,
It did not roll
fail,
for cold
fail.
damage.
I see.
Yeah.
46. What's it? 10. 7 bludgeoning, 10 cold.
Okay. That takes care of all of them as through a torrent of
And it's difficult terrain.
ice and nonsense and stuff, the bodies of these creatures are immediately obliterated.
Well,
Did
that
you want to
worked well.
move anywhere?
There.
Okay. Renji.
I want to move
Oh,
over
I also
here.
want. I did want to
Yeah.
know, how does that affect the mold?
The ice covers it. Doesn't seem to actually cause it to explode in a spore cloud or anything, thankfully. So you're fine. It's just kind of there.
Oh, that's an instantaneous thing. Oh, that's difficult terrain for now.
Okay. So, Renji.
I will move over here,
Okay.
and I will two-handed swing twice with aspiration.
Okay. You have advantage because it is prone.
Oh, okay. If well, then please disregard that as I need to roll
With super advantage.
That's fine.
28.
Okay.
And given that I am by myself, I will do the sneak attack on this one. That is 11 points of radiant damage and 10 points of sneak attack damage for a total of 21.
Okay.
Hold on, actually, hold on. This is 1d8. Oh, I should have rolled 1d10 because of two-handed attack.
That's fine.
So roll
You're already dead.
1d. I mean,
Feel free to roll for it anyway.
But number.
It's fine.
that would be
With 4 more damage.
That'd be
4 more damage.
4 more damage,
So
yeah.
25.
So you rush over just as the brow of this creature begins to split open and the eye looks left and right, and you just swing and incinerate this former wolf with your magical weapon. Did you want to do anything else on your turn?
Is the sound from downstairs still audible?
It's audible and getting louder and more numerous.
Then I want to go downstairs.
Okay.
Huh?
As you get down to the bottom of that stairway, you find that the doorway that would lead to these underground things has been filled in with rubble. But you do remember there is a well outside.
Right. Of course it's a well. Of course.
How does casting mending on like a fallen apart archway work?
You would fix a tiny piece of it.
that.
Just wondering if like you could basically cause the rocks to jump back into place.
No.
After a minute of time.
Ah.
A tiny piece of it after a minute.
Yeah.
Well,
You need
no
something
more than
like-
1 foot in any dimension.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. With this, I've traveled, I believe, 15 feet. So,
Mhm.
yeah. I would like to go back here
Okay.
for now.
All right. Max.
Does Renji tell us that there's sound from outside?
I will have shouted out. The way down is blocked. And then I run past
I'm
everyone
going
again.
to have to infer that from you moving then.
Okay.
I will have said that. Sorry.
Oh, where the well is.
Over here.
We did see it on the way in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They can probably come in through these windows. Because that would be a very mean thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to come out here and keep an eye on the well.
Okay.
And
Mara's
also down here just in case.
okay. Mara's going to draw her mace, and is going to stand ready to wallop anything that comes within melee range. She will actually move here. Kai.
Alright, so inferring that people are out, Renji did say that the way was blocked off downstairs?
Yeah.
Okay,
I did.
so for my movement, that's 20. 10 would put me at max. How far away is the well from you, Max? Because I cannot see it.
Oh,
From,
dang it.
about 70. Okay. Yeah, I think I will dash as a bonus action. So that's that. 1, 2, 3, 6. And I'm going to stand. Max seems like a caster of some kind, so I'm going to stand here. So I'm not in exact line. And I will hold my action to if something comes within range to thwack it.
Don't worry, my next spell isn't an AoE.
Okay. All right. Then it is. So the wolves are gone, but as you kind of like wander outside and look at, and keep an eye on the well, you see after a short amount of time, small creatures appear to scutter out of the well. They appear to be bipedal, but more in the sense of that it's two legs attached to a body with a singular eye, and they look around frantically before all eyes settle on the two of you.
It's baby gomas!
Hey, little.
And that will be their turn. They will act more appropriately next turn. Dr. Marcher will draw his light crossbow, and he's going to position himself at this window to fire at things, so he doesn't really have much of a range of sight at the moment. So that will be his turn. Zayden.
What's my speed? 35. Can I go out through the window?
You might need an acrobatics check to get through, but because it's kind of a squeeze. But
Right.
You can move through allied squares. Allied occupied squares.
As long as you don't end in the same square. Then
Correct.
you're
15. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25,
Okay.
30, 55. And then... what's the range on that? Yeah, I shall once again channeling the power of ice, fling a knife at the middle one.
Okay.
An exploding knife.
Okay, so it takes 7 damage from the knife, and then it and everything around it must make a dexterity saving throw. That's so the one that got hits gets that. Then leftmost, rightmost, bottom left, bottom middle. So that would
Take
be
the 6.
yeah. So that'd be 3 to you, 6 to you, 3 to you, gets rid of you. There's 3 to you. Yes, 3 to you, and then 6 to the other one. Okay. So they've been you hurl your ice knife at the middle one. It slams into its hard carapace, and then violently explodes in a shard of ice. It destroys your main target, and then severely damages the ones that surround it. And that will be it. Anything else you want to do?
I shall use my bonus action to cast Shillelagh.
Okay. Renji.
All right. I am going to move over here with 10 feet of movement. Step past here. I see where they are. Oh dear, I can't get there with the way I want to. Yeah. I can't get there from here to there with 60 feet of movement, can I?
Hold on, let me have a look. You can get there.
I can get there. Oh, but I can only hit 2 of them then. Instead I will jump down here.
Okay.
And move over here with let's see. Do I have the space for it? 5. Yeah, I would. And with that, I'm going to use some Eldritch Blast. I can. Let's see. I can direct the beams at the same target or a different one. So
Okay.
I will use. This goes to number 1. Number 1 goes to this one.
Okay.
Whatever. That's an 18.
That hits.
And that is 6 points of force damage. Number 2 goes to number 2.
Mm-hmm.
That is weird. That's
Yeah, it looks like the damage was being rolled again.
13 to hit.
13 misses that one, actually.
13 misses, okay. And the last one is a 25
That
for
hits.
3 points of damage.
Okay, that one takes the hit and is singed, but is still on its feet.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
No, I just with that, I will then maintain my stance and hold my sunblade.
Okay. Max.
Oh, I was worried there'd be none left. I've been waiting to use this spell for so many weeks. Go, man!
Okay.
Oh
Make a
my
dex save, please.
god.
Alright.
Do they even survive 25 hit points?
No.
We just want to see how
Do I need to
epically
make another roll for the next one?
No.
Or is it the same damage? Okay.
We'll just keep the 51, it's fine.
Well, the chain and lightning.
Let's see. See within range. 3 bolts leap, then leap from that target to as many as 3 other targets, each of which
like
must be
this
within
too.
30 feet of the first target. Okay. Right, well that actually just eliminates all of those. Even if they saved, they
Goes to
couldn't
the
take
front
that damage.
one and just like scatters backward from the first one.
Yeah. They just kind of... They violently explode into chunks after being struck with the lightning.
And
Yeah.
Max just gives his gauntlet a look like, yeah, that worked quite well.
Alright.
Amazing.
Anything else you want to do on your turn?
Another look down here to see if anything's coming.
It doesn't appear to be. Yeah. Alright. Mara's go. Mara is going to maneuver over here. She's going to stay here and whack anything that gets into melee. Kai.
Okay, is there still chittering coming from the well?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
I'm
well,
gonna go
well.
my thing that I do, which is be the tank, and I'm just gonna stand. Actually, let me just
Maybe 10
measure.
feet away. 10 feet away from the well, maybe.
How come? I can only get this close
Reasons.
Curious reasons.
I literally have to be within 5 feet to use my thwackum sticks.
I know. I
Besides,
know.
I've got 3 digits of HP. I can take it.
Okay.
Not the thing I'm worried about.
I
Okay.
will sit there and I will hold the attack action to crush things.
Alright. Okay. I'm just going to get rid of these corpses because they're in the way now.
Because you need to make room for different ones.
I did turn some of them into ash.
Because on their turn, more turn up. And
That would be a... that would trigger Kai's held action.
Yep. Then go for it.
Weapon Master! 19!
Crunch.
Gova just climbs out of the well, looks up to see this gigantic shadow descending from the heavens.
I will allow you to use the held bonus action as well since you destroyed one.
Oh yeah. I
Wait,
did.
are we introducing cleave?
I don't have cleave. I have pressure.
It's likely
Okay.
for moles.
Yeah. So we'll do the other one also with great weapon.
I mean, even if you didn't get, it's just overkill. I love Great Weapon Master. It's delicious.
It's great.
Actually, thank you for knocking this one down specifically. Because what I'm about to do will not incur attack of opportunity.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, they have summoning sickness from being out of the well, so that's them done. Dr. Marshall is going to maneuver out here. He's going to position himself there. So what does he have? He has a light crossbow. I forget the range of the light crossbow. 80 to 320. So that is...
We can get him.
Yeah, he can get him. It's all good. So he's going to fire one crossbow at the one furthest away. Boom. 16 hits for 9. Doesn't kill it, but at the very least, it does a respectable amount of damage. Zayden.
I need to ask, are the Goma wet? Is there water in that well?
No.
Okay then.
It was very dry.
It also dawns on you at this point that the chittering, the volume of it, despite the fact that you've now gone through 7 of the bastard things, has not decreased in volume. There's quite a lot down there that you can, with I'm going to say with your 20 passive insight, that you can probably gather that if this turns into a war of attrition, you may well lose.
I question that. As I am going to step forward to avoid harming Mara
Okay.
and turn into a fire elemental. I'm just gonna stand here inside the well.
Oh,
Okay. What's your passive thing? Passive damage for things that enter the thing?
They all take a D10 of fire.
Okay.
Also, I can still punch 2 of them.
Okay. Then punch 2 of them.
I don't know why that was advantaged. Oh. That first one was accurate, the second one was a 18.
Yep, they both hit. I'm going to say that 2 of them are now scorched into nothingness.
Okay, and the other 2 will... let's see. Not advantage, D10. A 6 and a 10 of fire for the other 2. And the other one that only took 6 is, I think, also on fire?
Yeah?
Yes, it's on fire.
Okay, so you
I'm
have
just gonna cap this well with fire.
Yeah, that's fine.
it's fire.
I'm just going to roll a couple things real quick. Alright. Okay. I'm going to say, for the interests of both time as well as simplicity, if you coordinate a plan between the lot of you, the whole kind of, they have to emerge from through a literal trial of fire to get outside, and then they're faced with Kai and Renji and Max just kind of like picking off the ones who get through. I'd say after what would be about 20 minutes worth of combat, eventually
wait, 20 minutes in rounds?
Yes. There's a lot there.
Wow.
Like it's not
That
so
is a
much a
lot.
case of like a constant.
a lot.
It's not so much a case of a constant flow of bad guys. Like for the first few minutes, it's like there is a stream of things get out, they kind of tumble out the well, and then like burn to a crisp, or they get through and they try and attack you, but then you've prepared for this and you strike them down as they come through, now weakened from the fire. Then after those couple of minutes, the stream begins to get like more sparse, and then it turns that then after 20 minutes of waiting, while you hear chittering still, it seems they've learned. And this, which is a good thing, because Zayden, you would be aware, Goma have a hive mind. So the moment one Goma learns not to go through the well, the rest of them learn not to do that. And they just kind of remain down there for a time. But now you have to
I'm going to caution to my friends then, if I realize that, they might try and break out through the collapsed tunnel.
Dr. Marshall says, I think it probably best that we evacuate, maybe. If there is any way that we can keep them from chasing after us, I don't... What are these things?
How much do I know about Goma?
Give me another nature check.
Give me a second, and while you're learning about that, I'd like to beat the shit out of the whale and seal it shut with its own rubble.
Okay, give me a strength check. Athletics, if you're trained in it as well.
I am trained in athletics. 25.
Nice. So, with 13 nature, Zayden, it's mostly because you've encountered them once or twice before. They like to live in areas where there is lots of life. It's weird that they're here, where there is not really much life to latch onto, but it's quite possible that something else has brought them here. The fungus that is around is kind of functions as something of a spawning area. They start as, like, for lava like these, they start as spores and then they kind of spread out. An infestation of this size, however, is quite alarming. But the one of the key aspects, the key ways that Goma seem to spread are in two factors. One is with these fungal things that make the lava, which allow them to effectively generate large ant colony sort of hive mind structures. And normally they have something that is akin to a queen that coordinates everything. The alternative is that they infect an already living host and they become significantly more powerful, but also completely under the thrall of the Goma hive mind. It's a good thing they never got a chance to bite you, because that's how it spreads.
I will reiterate my point. Fuck cordyceps.
It's difficult to say whether or not a queen resides beneath Blackmoore Castle, but whatever it is, if with Kai's 25, he's successfully able to kind of reshape the well and seal it off with rubble. So unless there is like another way out, then it should be relatively sealed. But maybe perhaps sometime when you've got enough fire, like in larger quantities than you already have it right now, it's still going to be a dangerous area in this castle. Which begs the question, if this is what's causing the infections, then something's definitely gone wrong in the Hylia settlement. And there has to be something up with this sort of disease, with this parasite, that is causing a remarkable amount of issues. But we will, but as you kind of you've stayed the problem for now. At least you believe you've stayed the problem for now. And with that, what we will do is we will call it there for now, and we will come back to this next time. So thank you everybody for listening in. This has been Hyrule Chronicles, episode number 88. I have been ArticulateT, the GM, and with me as always I have had Renji Vox, being played by the Netherlad.
Fuck cordyceps.
Yeah. Playing Kaikuana, I've had Alvarez.
Hi, Smash.
Playing Zayden Shari, I've had Rubber Pirate.
My kill counter must be insanely high now.
Our kill counter.
Playing Max, I've had Keistrith.
I'm just glad I got to chain some lightning.
Yeah.
It's all I've wanted to do for since we leveled up to 11. And also since we've been level 5.
Yeah. And we'll see you guys next time. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye now.